Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Talking Movies. My name's Josh.
I'm Clay.
I'm unemployed.
Randall.
I'm Chris.
And today we're talking about Clay's pick this week.
Better
Dr.
off
Fred.
dead.
No, Better Off Dead. Yeah. 1985, right? What is the movie about?
It's about a guy who's obsessed with a young lady, and she dumps him, and he spirals into sadness and depression, and tries to off himself. But he is unsuccessful and meets a new wonderful French lady who's exotic and knows how to work on cars. And a new adventure begins, a new skiing adventure begins. So they also ski. So I don't know, man. It's one of my dearly beloved movies. I've watched it dozens of times since I was a kid. It's pretty silly, you know. I used to think that, what was the kid's name? Badger. I used to think he was the man.
What,
Curtis
Booger
Armstrong?
from Revenge of the Nerds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Risky Business.
look, dude, if you had described that movie to somebody the way you just described it, and then they went and watched it, they would be getting A when you told them B. Because, boy, I tell you, this movie's like a fucking cartoon the whole way around. But you were saying it like it was some kind of like super, like the synopsis sounds like it's like a drama almost.
Like a serious movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've seen this movie before. I wasn't sure I had watched it till as soon as it started. I was like, "Oh, I've seen this." And
No, I remember Randy describing this movie to me one time because he told me, it was like, yeah, John Cusack and his food just crawls off his plate at one point. I was like, it's a weird movie. I was like, all right.
yeah, I've forgotten that I had seen it. I mean, I'm a fan of John Cusack, so I'm cool. But that Rob Lowe lookalike guy, and then that girl that he's obsessed with is like super mid. Like it doesn't. I don't understand any of this movie, dude. His mom's hotter than both the love interests. Like,
His mom.
I think I agree with that.
Because
Yeah.
we're all like old now.
Yeah. They're all pervy old men. But like, I like the little subtle shit in this movie, dude. Like when the mom's cooking dinner towards the middle of the movie, and there's that like octopus thing hanging out the pot. And it's just like these little subtle things. Yeah.
Yeah, there's this
Subtle as in
parts.
like it's just like kind of there with no explanation. It's just like in the
Yeah.
background, and she's like cooking this big pot of like this giant octopi, and you're like, what is going on in this house? Like the whole time you can't tell if it's a dream or if it's real.
Yeah, I think that was what I liked about it. Just the general absurdity to everything, that it doesn't follow any like realistic way you think people were gonna talk or act, or it's just all goofy, absurdist dialogue and stuff. And I think that was what I dug about it. I mean, it literally came out my birth month, like right after I was born.
Oh, really?
Awesome.
And never been a huge John Cusack fan. Didn't hate him, but I don't know, just somebody I never really cared about, I guess. But it was a lot better than I was expecting it to be. I wasn't expecting to hate it or anything, but yeah.
It is an 80s movie, and there are, you watch an 80s movie and you're like, a lot of times. So
Well, I mean, the plot itself is like dime a dozen. There's like 100 like coming of age, like
breakup
movies in the 80s. It's like, but the absurdity, the sense of humor about it is what makes it unique.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of like, I mean, exactly what you're saying. The nuances of this movie and all the extra stuff that I was explaining a minute ago is exactly what makes it stand out, which is what makes it unique, which then makes it a little more enjoyable. So, like, you're right. It is the same as all those other movies with a little sprinkle of, some nonsense on top, and that's what gives it its personality, and that's what I imagine that's what Hugh liked about it. I would be surprised if that wasn't the case.
Yeah. I wish I liked John Cusack. I don't.
Yeah.
He sucks. He definitely sucks.
He's just a wet rag. Like he just kind of lays there. There's there's nothing.
Well, he's a giant pussy in this movie. So
Yeah. Well, we
you
just
know.
watched Being John Malkovich, and I was like, he's not that much different in this movie. It's pretty much the same.
The same loser.
Yeah, he's kind
Come
of just
back to
loser.
me.
Right. It's kind of the same thing, except, and it is sort of. I was like, even the humor in this is sort of similar in a way. It's just like totally absurd.
Have you seen Adult World where he's like a disgruntled writer and
No.
Emma, what's her name? Emma Roberts is like crazy about him.
Mm-mm.
She works at like an adult video store. It's a decent movie, but he's the same like really unhappy, miserable kind of guy in that movie too.
I like the one that he has the radio. I like that one a lot, and I like the one called Identity. Say Anything, and I like Identity a lot. He's done like, and I liked the one where he's like in that hotel room and he's going crazy. 1408. He's got all these other ones that are like sort of popular, but not really. But they're like his like. I don't know how to describe it, but he has a set of movies that I really like, which makes me go, okay. And so I'm a fan of his because of these handful of movies, which makes me like stuff like Better Off Dead better because I like these other movies. He's not, I don't really think he's an enjoyable actor. I just happen to like the movies he's in, if that makes any sense at all.
Right? Yeah, that definitely makes sense. Like I like Up to a Time Machine, but yeah, it's definitely not because of John.
Hell yeah. Love that movie.
Yeah. I'm sure it's Josh's favorite freaking Cusack movie, but
I'll never watch that again.
Yeah.
Wait, you didn't like that movie?
No, Josh hates like bottom of the barrel. I
don't want. Yeah, I don't. That's not my.
That is the top of a mountaintop. What are you talking about? Bottom of the barrel, sir.
So no Hangover, nothing like that.
Yeah, the first Hangover is okay.
Yeah, I think First Hangover is not as like.
Dude, the Hot Tub Time Machine is so much better than Hangover. I thought it was.
Yeah,
they're pretty close. I like it better, but it's definitely. I guess I can see why you don't like it. I was just a little surprised. I think Craig Robinson is pretty good.
Super crude humor is not my bag.
Yeah, you're pretty boring.
Yeah, Josh hasn't a fart joke.
Yeah, I don't like farts. I don't like poop jokes.
Dude, everybody likes fart jokes
except for me.
Yeah, that's true. Except for
I am who I am. Not the funniest. I'm not.
Hey, we can identify like together on that point. I feel that way so often in my life. Like I am how I am, dude. I just like what I like, man. That's one thing that we get along with about. We may be different with our stuff that we like, but it's just kind of I'm unashamedly myself. And if you don't like it, oh well, don't talk to me then.
Yeah. Bring on the dookie humor.
All day, bro. Ask Parker, bro. Poo poo pee pee. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, I don't watch comedies that much. I mean, other than
me neither.
I guess John Malkovich, and I feel like we did. Did we do another comedy recently?
I don't think so.
Like,
we don't really do comedies very often.
I don't watch a lot of comedies these days anymore. There's not a lot of new comedies coming out anyway. That
I mean, we watch stuff that has comic, it has humor in it, but not like straight up comedies. I kind of brought that up when we did Malkovich because it is primarily a comedy, and we don't really do that very often.
I mean, Black Rain was pretty funny.
You're not wrong about that. But the other, so like a few days after that podcast episode, I'm at my shop and some guy goes, "Hey, can I buy this thing or whatever?" And I had to empty some stuff out of it, and I was like, "There it is!" And I found my copy of Black Rain on VHS. I knew I still had it. I was like, "There's no way I got rid of that."
Nice.
That was a gift, man. I typically keep the ones that are given to me by people.
Yeah, I saw Julie had a laser disc, but it was like right before we watched it, so I was like, I kind of want to go back and get that.
It's a cool cover. Good cover on that movie.
You also have some cool laser discs over there. You're always coming up with some crazy something.
She got a good collection over there. So
she's always getting good laser discs. I don't know where the fuck she gets all those.
She had Belle de Jour too.
Oh snap! Are you serious?
Yeah. It was like right at the front of a bin when I walked by the other day. I was like, well.
I like them because I kind of dig my little thing back here, not to toot my own horn, but I just like being able to display them because they're so big,
Right.
Yeah, no, I can switch those out every once in a while and kind of switch up.
Those movies suck, but I like the idea.
Oh, I
That
appreciate that.
is awesome.
Mitch, all right, podcast over.
But yeah, I mean, they're just big record movies. Yeah, I dig them.
Yeah, for sure.
That is cool.
Clay, like this is your movie, so give us some highlights. What do you like?
You owe
about
us
this
an
movie?
explanation, sir.
I mean, because for me, the movie is fine. Like, I really like absurdist humor, so that kept me going. But otherwise,
Dude.
I was like,
Oh,
it was not really.
If I had picked this movie out, Josh would be like, "This movie's fucking terrible, Randall."
I mean, I think I just was looking for a little bit of a hook here, right? You know, I struck out with Bounce Co. I think it's got 12 views, you know, something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need a reset, you know. So how do I do that? And I just pulled something out of the quiver that's, you know, old and trusty, and my aim was true. But you know, at the end of the day, what's my favorite? I love Badger. When I was a kid, I used to think like, damn, I wish I could have like a book that I ordered a laser gun in and got a bunch of women to drink with me in my book.
Oh, Badger's his little brother. I'm tripping, dude. I was thinking this homeboy at school. My apologies. His homeboy at school is Booker from
the paper boy with the $2 is iconic.
Yeah.
Nobody forgets him.
Yeah, the running gags. It's got a ton of running gags throughout, and I feel like they all work. You know, the Asian dudes in the car.
No, those guys might be my favorite characters.
I like that.
Yeah, it's all like good. They don't overstay their welcome. You know, it's not like you won't laugh the hardest, but I mean, I like chuckled constantly throughout it.
Right.
And I think like I do like the actresses. The blonde is what I think she's in Dream Warriors. She's a Nightmare on Elm Street.
That's where she's from.
Oh, really?
I knew her for something. Yeah, I don't like her tiny thin lips.
Yeah, and I mean, she was kind of like California fine at the time, like blonde hair and California chicks were in with neon bikinis and shit. So
very 80s.
Very 80s look.
What about her doppelganger that got her clothes ripped off in the lunchroom, the skater girl?
Yeah. See, that was another kind of California girl look, you know.
So they looked the same, man.
Who's the chick who was married to Christy Brinkley, right? Somebody who looks like Christy Brinkley. So that was big in the 80s. And I did like Monique. I thought she was, very cute for, his second choice or whatever.
Right.
The French girl?
Yeah.
She's real pretty, man. She was way finer than that blonde girl.
She's not actually French. I watched an interview with her and she
no kidding.
Yeah. She fakes the whole accent.
What? I can't believe it.
I was surprised because I always just leaned into the fact that she was this cute French girl, but no, she's not. She's
she was cool until she started talking, and then I was like, all right.
Yeah, with fresh 2024 eyes.
Right.
Yeah.
But I do like when she says he uses it as a chance to put his testicles all over me, and like, who didn't laugh at that line,
dude? There was two parts of this movie that I was just like, man, I'd love to see them do this in a movie now. And it was the hefty fella whose mom was basically forcing that girl to be his girlfriend, which I thought, man, this could be a news story right now. This guy would be in prison.
That guy has very big legal trouble right now.
Oh, really?
He's the Nickelodeon guy, right?
Yes.
Oh, is that the same guy?
Yeah.
Yes, he does. Oh, he is that fucking guy.
Yes.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Wow. I knew I recognized that guy, but I didn't know why.
Yes, sir.
Dude, you just blew my mind. That is wow, that guy, that guy's a scumbag. And then obviously the little kid with all the ladies, I was like, if this was a little girl with a bunch of dudes, that would be. I just thought it was funny that nobody complains about it. I don't complain about it either. I don't think there's every 12-year-old kid is like, I want me a 20-year-old woman. Like, that's not weird, okay? And it's very weird when a woman's like, oh, a young kid, right? I'm not the woman. I'm the young kid, so fuck off. It's weird. I'm okay with it.
You couldn't make weird science anymore either,
Bro, weird science rules too. What are you doing, people?
Right. That's sort of like a parallel 80s movie, right? Just weird and off the wall with some dorky humor, and you take the dorks.
I agree with that.
They're ladies' men now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Totally.
What nerdy kid didn't want to, have that happen to him? So
No, it wasn't even really that nerdy, and I wanted that shit. Still do.
in the car,
I get my wife to dress up like that all the time.
The Camaro, I think it's a '67 Camaro. Like that's probably my dream car right there.
Okay.
So that to me is like, oh my god! Every time
It
I see
says 67.
I think it's a '67 Camaro. Yeah, SS. Mm-hmm.
My dad had a 77, and that's like one of the cars I really like.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah, old Camaro.
Now I'd take any damn Camaro, right?
Right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's what's up.
Yeah.
Well, there it is. Hopefully, you had a couple good laughs out of it.
No, it's definitely got some good jokes in there. Yeah.
It was good.
You guys
yeah,
watch anything good this week?
I was just saying, I wasn't rolling on the floor laughing the whole time, but
I'll be honest,
It was-
man. At like 10 minutes in, I was like, dude, I don't want to watch this stupid fucking movie. And then like 30 minutes in, I was like, okay, never mind, I'm back in.
I kind of felt
And
the
then-
same way. Like,
And then by the time I was getting up, I was like, all right, this was fun.
I felt the exact same way when I watched it this time. I was like, oh, the opening sequence is already pissing me off, and then
yeah, it took a little while to just get on its wavelength, but once I did, it worked. I enjoyed it.
Right. Yeah. Same. For sure. Let's talk about The Substance.
Oh yeah,
We've all seen it, so
Substance.
keep going.
Let's do it.
I liked it. I liked it a lot, man. I think it hit just about every like good chord for me. I love the blood fountains. Lots of nudity, lots of body parts, lots of weird body horror. It's been a while, I feel like, since I've seen a really, crazy body horror movie. So, man, I liked it. What'd y'all think?
Yeah. No, it was solid. So we had like Crimes of the Future wasn't too long ago, but I mean, it doesn't go like super crazy.
It's not like this.
Pretty. I mean, for Cronenberg, it's fairly tame. So yeah, I felt the same way. Like we hadn't had anything this kind of over the top, crazy in a while.
Randy and I watched it together, and we got out, and Randy was like, "Well, I've seen crazy stuff like this before. It's not like this is like super unique." And I was like, "Yeah." I was thinking about it. I was like, "Yeah," but it's been a long time since we've seen something, quite this crazy with this much practical effects, this many
quality
like
acting.
Yeah, and just like crazy, transformations and stuff like that. To that degree, it's been a while. So,
yeah, because I was thinking about like Infinity Pool and what's the other Possessor or whatever. Like those aren't
Brandon Cronenberg movies.
Yeah, those aren't great. I like them okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, those.
I was thinking about that getting out of this because there's so much Cronenberg in this. I was like, but yeah, this is way better than either of those.
For sure.
I don't know, man. Cronenberg is a far more intelligent watch to me than this movie, right? I mean, Cronenberg has like a really deep meaning behind the meaning and stuff. This was just like, yeah, I know what's going to happen. Like you're going to,
That's true, but this one had a political message, and Cronenberg movies are incredibly pretentious. So, like, while I like a bunch of them, there's a bunch that I don't like. And I'm not saying that this one's not pretentious. I'm just saying like his are like a particular style of pretentious. Like they're like this. I don't know. The word pretentious pops in my head whenever I think David Cronenberg.
Yeah,
doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. It's just a descriptive word as far as I'm concerned. But a lot of times his movies are so deep and they're so meaningful that I'm like, all right, I'm out. I don't. I prefer this kind of ridiculousness. But there was a social message, and I think the social message was important, and I think they did it right. I still prefer Revenge over The Substance, but by how much? Not a lot. I think on any given day you could flip a quarter, whatever it lands on. I'd be pretty happy to watch. This one I have only seen once. I've only seen Revenge, I think, twice. So neither of them I've watched a bunch. So I think I'd be down for either one. If I was in a non-foreign language mood, then obviously I'd go with The Substance because the other one's in, I think, French, maybe Italian.
Right?
I can't remember French.
But she's French.
But dude, the movie was so badass that like, I legit like I've been thinking about it a lot lately, man. I
Yeah.
liked it a lot. I got a poster for it and everything. I don't know what I'm gonna do with the poster, but yeah. I mean, I really enjoyed the movie. I do want to watch it again because when we watched it, it was fucking freezing in that theater,
dude.
It was so cold in there that it took me out of the movie a bit. So I do want to watch it. But my reviews on Letterboxd, if I've tried to stay on top of them, so like my initial thoughts are on Letterboxd, and I really enjoyed it, man. It was a fucking crazy movie, and I was proud of the length that Demi Moore would go in order to make a point and show that she's still relevant, she's still a good actor, and like even if you're elevated in age, it doesn't really matter. You can still be attractive, and you can still bring people to the theater.
Man.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
I never
61.
thought that she was that hot personally, but she's definitely not unattractive at all. And so I like that she was vulnerable and did some shit that took some courage. That courageous is the right word.
Yeah,
She did stuff that I was like, bro, there's no way I could ever do some shit
Well,
like that.
I mean, her whole part of the movie is what it is, the non-glamorous side of it.
Right.
So, and I've been listening to some interviews and stuff, and she was, I mean, if you look back at her career, her whole career was about her body.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You know, even G.I. Jane and stuff like that. It's like, oh, she shaved her head. Like, it's all about
Right.
her looks.
That's true.
Has muscles. Yeah.
Striptease,
Interesting.
all that, you know, everything was always about how she looked. So,
Yeah.
to-
Yeah. Most actresses her age, I do not think would want to be in
Right.
anything like that. It's
no.
yeah, it's cool. It's cool. I mean, even I wouldn't guess color an A-lister, but
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
yeah,
At the time, she was the most. She was the highest paid actress.
yeah, back
like during
early,
like GI
early
Jane.
'90s or whatever.
Yeah, she was
mid '90s maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, it was cool to see her, you know, do something cool and yeah, like you said, courageous is a
movie's
good
a
word.
huge swing. I mean, I don't know, like just how they got it made is pretty incredible, and to get it in front of this many eyeballs and get acclaim and all that stuff, that's no small feat.
Yeah, comparing, like when Brandy was comparing it to Cronenberg earlier, like this one has, I think, you know, mass appeal just because it's kind of sillier in tone. It doesn't have the pretentiousness of Cronenberg movies. You know, the messages are just, you know, right down in front for you to see. And yeah, and the tone of the movie is just kind of silly and not very serious. But the message is serious. So
right. That's kind of how I feel about it.
Yeah, it has that mass appeal where, you know, most people aren't going to go out and see, you know, Cronenberg movies. Like Crimes of the Future, I don't think like had any hardly any, you know,
and it's unfortunate, man. It's good shit too.
That's what I was looking for.
Isn't it kind of crazy that like it's sort of like it's shitting on what it's actually using to sell the movie, right? It's kind of saying like, oh, this sexy culture is, you know, not the way, but here again, you've got Margaret Qualley's butthole on full display.
It's using it to make the point, though.
Yeah, no, absolutely, but it's also leveraging that to sell movie tickets. So, you know.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, there is definitely an aspect of that to it. But I feel like it puts it in your face so much that it's.
I was laughing my ass off. I was like, dude, this is crazy.
Chris's Letterboxd review is like he kind of got, you know, annoyed with all of the you know, the really zoomed in the like the glamour shots and all that stuff.
Oh, dude, I love that shit.
I did too.
That was some of my favorite part. It was all the extreme close-ups and like you can see the pores. Although the sound design was so good that it grossed me out numerous times.
Oh man.
Yeah. But it does it.
Quaid eating those fucking shrimp, dude. I was
within
35 minutes of the movie.
Everything is like a uncomfortable close-up. Like they stick that lens like up his nose just about. It's so
fucking
gross. I was eating popcorn. I was going ham. And then I was like, oh, I gotta stop. Like,
yeah, I think I watched like I think it was Stuckman's review of it. He was like, "Don't eat when you're in this." Yeah, I was sitting there eating popcorn the whole time. And something wrong with me? I don't know.
Yeah. I ate some fries or something at the beginning, but at the end, I was like, I definitely didn't feel like eating.
I mean, if I had shrimp, if I was literally like eating shrimp
Oh,
at the beginning,
oh,
I might have questioned my food choice, but
yikes.
So there's a review that I read about. There's a couple of points that I wanted to bring up. There was a review I read on Letterboxd about this, that they were like, yeah, I like the movie, but I'm losing my train of thought. But he was like, he didn't like the fact that Demi Moore basically didn't experience what she was experiencing. So like, what is the point of, why would she want it to keep it going?
Okay.
That's what Anna kept saying. She was like, I don't understand how she benefits here. Like,
right.
she's just she
She's
wakes up and
either
she's like, oh,
asleep
that's
or
what happened.
she just stays in her apartment and eats. Like, she's not benefiting by any of it, right? So I wanted to kind of just bring that up as a.
So I didn't think she was supposed to benefit from it. I thought the way I was understanding it was that she was getting, her benefit was being the younger her. And then when the punishment, the cost of that is having to, recharge your batteries, so to speak, and then be alone in this house by yourself, knowing that you're getting kind of gross. You're doing something you probably shouldn't do, so you're self-conscious. And as soon as you go back to that other girl, bam, you're back out in the public eye and you're da-da-da-da-da. It's kind of like that's the dark side of the coin. You got the bright side, the dark side. The dark side is this loneliness, man. Because when you're that's
right.
what she's experiencing. That's the cost of going out and being this younger version a second time in one life.
Right. Yeah, I was kind of.
That's what I thought.
I was trying to think about it too, because it's like, it's not a bad point, but I think that's taking it a little too literal. Even like, it's more of a. Nothing in this movie is real. It's all very like heightened, stylized, right? So it's more, to me, it's more metaphorical. I think it's like, if you look at the price of fame, it's like there's this front facing side to you, and then there's the side that nobody sees,
Right.
And they're in conflict with each other. Like, you hate yourself, but you can't, it's almost like an addiction. Like, you can't shake it. Like, you still want it, even though it's destroying you, right?
Yeah, she's self-sabotaging herself in a way. And I watched like a YouTube review. I don't know who it was, because I don't think I've ever watched a video of her before. That just popped up and I clicked on it because I was looking for content to watch. And she actually got into it a little bit of like, yeah, she's self-sabotaging herself. So
yeah,
it's
like,
I mean, she's definitely being, driven and pushed by, all the men in the movie, but to a certain point, she's kind of doing it to herself.
The whole
movie she's holding herself back.
Self-hatred, right?
Yeah.
And it's it's a social pressure. It's obviously like a huge aspect of the movie, but it is like what people do to themselves and how much they can like destroy themselves.
When you're addicted, you get high, right? That's the benefit, right? And so I don't think that they shared any kind of memory, or like, she had no knowledge of what had happened when her other self was running around. So she was just sitting in the room, by herself eating chicken. Like, where's the goodness there? Oh, in 7 days I get to go back to sleep and somebody else uses my bodily fluid and I have no recollection of anything that they did. That, like, I get to see the billboard.
That was the only part that I didn't like. Well, I understood it kind of. I just didn't necessarily like that part. The movie's flawed. It's not perfect, but it's really fucking good.
I could see how it worked. It was a fun movie, like, nonetheless. Yeah. Like, but that.
Well, I have to be careful with that. Like, I don't want to I overthink shit anyway. So if I start overthinking movies, I'll end up just being disappointed.
Yeah, and you kind of get annoyed by them. But no, it's certainly, like, this is definitely creative.
But I mean, she had an out too. She met the old classmate or whatever that actually thought she was beautiful, and
dude, that's
that stuff.
Honestly one of the saddest parts of the movie.
Yeah. So she's just feeling bad about herself, and taking it out on herself, ignoring that dude and not going, with somebody that would actually appreciate her,
Right.
and choosing to just go back down the rabbit hole with Margaret Qualley.
Did you see me take a photo in the theater, Josh?
Yes, I did.
Did you know what I was taking a photo of?
I don't remember now.
Full frontal nudity, dude. No,
okay.
No, there was a point where
at
at the beginning of the movie, I didn't know how long it was. I didn't know how much it was going to be a part of the movie, or I would have maybe waited for a better shot. But there's that fucking yellow coat that she wears, and Carissa has a yellow coat that's like the same kind of coat, but a little bit shorter. And I hate that fucking coat. So I took a picture and sent it to Chris, and she was like, "Oh my god, I love that coat." I was like, "I know you do, baby. I knew you'd like that coat. I knew she'd like that coat." I've actually grown to love that thing, like begrudgingly, because she wears it so much and loves it so much. But
that's funny.
Yeah, that guy was incredibly sad. The fellow that was into her, man. It was I don't know, man. It was a strange movie, but I really enjoyed it. It was a little. I really do think watching it in a more comfortable room would help me out a lot, because I feel like I was out of it for a part of that movie because I was fucking cold. I don't get cold very easily.
It was like 60 degrees in there.
Maybe
I
colder than that, dude. It was fucking cold.
I walked in there and I was like, "Holy shit!" It was really
they were getting a bunch of complaints about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, why can't they can't control the thermostat?
Dude, okay. Here's another reason why you should not go to Alamo fucking Draft House. So, well, no, dude. So, like, the reason that theater is so cold is because if they have it anywhere near room temperature, you can smell all the mold in the wall. That's why it's cold. And I know that because I was there when they were fucking dealing with it, and they couldn't deal with it, and they didn't want to fucking spend the money to get it fixed the right way. So, all the shit that I know at that place is about to come to light because, it's a fucking shithole.
P theater in the making.
Straight up, dude. Yeah, P theater in the making. Future P theater.
The place isn't that old either. Like, it's only been there,
like
what?
6 years old.
Yeah, 4 or 5 years. 6. It's not old at all.
You know what's fucking crazy, dude? Is that I can't even go watch Terrifier 3 there now.
Oh, yeah. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, I thought about that pretty immediately upon the dismissal, if you will.
Yeah.
Was that I was like, well, I guess I'm going somewhere else for T3.
Yeah.
Whatever, man. It's fucking super far from my house anyways, but yeah, man. But that's why it's so cold in there, is because there's like I don't really know the story behind the mold in the wall, but there's like there's some moisture that got into the wall, and every time that room wasn't really cold, you could smell it down the hall, dude. It smelled like moldy paper, and they figured out that if you turn the air down low enough, it would dry part of the wall out, and so they like fucking rigged up this thing and like soaked the wall down, and then they couldn't dry the wall, and they were like, "Oh God, what do we do?" And so they just cranked the air conditioner. And then they lie to people and go, "Oh, it's because the AC is broken and we're trying to get it fixed." No, they're not. It's going to be like that for a long, long time, maybe indefinitely. They're so full of shit. It's wild.
It's so hot in Texas. It seems like your AC bill would just make your electric bill like $20,000 a month or some shit.
Dude, so they have this weird thing about like, if there's a problem, fixing it requires like talking to upper management. And so like, boss man didn't like to go and have to tell them, hey, we have to spend some money. All he ever wanted to do was show them the good things that were happening. Yeah. It's just not a good way to sustain a business. And I'm not trying to be hating on him either. I'm trying to come at it from like a critical, objective way of looking at it. They just don't know how to like, he's not good at any kind of confrontation. And that would be a confrontation, talking to your boss about, hey, we got to spend 15 grand on this piece of thing for this AC to fix the wall, whatever the situation might be. I mean, I've watched them do it a bunch of times, sweep things under the rug and then, bring your attention over here so you don't see this shit over here. I think that's probably not unique to Alamo, so whatever.
Yeah, I would imagine
I was working at. So
a lot of managers just want to make themselves look good, and
I'm really trying to not be like a fucking disgruntled shitty asshole about it. But like that place was freezing, dude. It was driving me nuts.
Yeah, it was very distracting.
Y'all watch anything else this week besides that?
Not really. I haven't really had time to watch
a movie that I think you will love, but
me,
you, Randy, yeah. But I'm trying to keep it in my pocket. I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah.
I know a guy that's got some free time.
No. Yeah, I'll just bring it up. I don't know if it's podcasting like my speed. It's called Dinner in America, I believe.
Dinner in America. Okay.
Yeah, it is about a punk rock guy who's like, I don't know. He reminds me of somebody. And so he meets this girl, and I was like, dude, this is Randy's movie. But it's, you know, it's a little tenderhearted in certain places, and I don't know if that'll be off-putting because it's
I mean, I
not
have
like,
helpless romantic tattooed on my knuckles, so I'm down
yeah,
with that
man,
kind of shit.
that's
A punk
cool.
love story.
I would really love to see you like check this movie
Oh,
out.
I've heard of this director.
I feel like
What
I've
are they-
heard of this too, actually.
He
What
had
are they
a
famous for?
he had one that recently just came out. Josh watched it.
Snack Shack, yeah.
Yeah.
Snack Shack was good.
I
Yeah.
was wanting to watch that. I saw your review of that. I didn't realize it's the same guy.
Yeah, it's fun. I think that's on Amazon Prime now too.
Oh
Okay.
shit, this movie looks awesome.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, dude, I'm down with that movie. I'll watch that shit tonight, probably. I watched a couple of short films that were fucking awesome.
Okay.
really.
Dude, they're on YouTube too. One's called Milk and Cereal. And you know, they're not gonna fucking like blow your mind, but this movie was made for $800. And it's a short 60-minute movie. It's a found footage horror movie type thing. And again, I want to stress that it's not like breaking new ground. So don't watch it expecting that. Just watch it from the perspective of these dudes just wanted to make a cool movie
Mhm.
and they didn't have a lot of money, yet they were able to make a really fucking cool movie. And the main guy is so fucking good at what he does. And look, I saw a bunch of it coming from a mile away. There's a couple things I did not see coming. So I thought for 60 minutes, man, in a free movie that cost them only $800, I was
That's cool.
flabbergasted. I think I gave it 5 stars on Letterboxd, dude. It blew my fucking mind, and it was awesome. I enjoyed it from front to back. It's super short. I just like it was on my watch list, and me and Kenna were talking about doing a podcast on something, and she goes, "Hey, what?" Oh, I said, "Hey, have you heard of this thing, Milk and Cereal?" She's like, "I've been wanting to watch that." So I watched it to talk with her. We were going to do the podcast tomorrow. I want to purge myself of Alamo for a couple of days, maybe a week, and then I'll jump back on with her and do it next week, I think. But I'm going to stay in touch with a lot of those people, so I still want to do it. But I would love. I almost feel like Josh is going to be like, but like I still kind of want you to watch it because it's real short, so it's not a super big investment.
Okay.
But I would like to hear your thoughts on it at least. So maybe because like even when I know, or not even know, even when I assume you're going to be kind of hard on a movie, maybe I still most of the time want to hear your feedback on it, unless it's just something that I'm like Terrifier. I just don't give a shit because I know you're not going to like it, and I know that I do. But with something like this, I would love to hear your critique because I read a couple reviews and they were all, most of them were really positive, but there was a couple that I was like, well, you seem like you just don't want to have any fun. And then I like looked at I rewatched it and I was like, I mean, I can kind of see what you're saying, but I still don't think you're warranted in like the amount of angry that you are about this particular thing. And I just like to, you're my friend, so I your feedback, even if I don't agree, is more valuable to me than somebody else's. So but yeah, I think Hugh and Chris would both dig it. I think you're probably a coin toss. You might really appreciate it, you might not care at all, but I was shocked by it. And he has a couple other ones, one called The Chair. It's like 20 minutes. So if you wanted to do like a 2-hour movie, you could probably watch like 4 or 5 of his things because he's a bunch of shorts. And they're just like super well done, like at least as far as I know. I could be missing something, but anyways, I really wanted to tell you all about that movie. It's fucking cool.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah,
I put it on my watch list.
I saw it pop up on your letterbox. I was kind of interested. I'm really like hit or miss about found footage.
That's why I was like,
really like found footage very much, mostly. But
well, since so this, do you want me to give you like a quick synopsis because there is a like short synopsis?
Sure.
Well, it's just watch it. Give it a watch.
Okay.
It's not a long movie. If it was like 2 hours, I'd say like let me tell you about it a little bit, but it's not.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll look it up. All right, so let's wrap up. I'll give the pick and we can log
Yeah,
out.
I didn't watch a damn thing this week.
I really didn't either. Other than the substance, I haven't watched
Yeah.
anything this week.
Same here.
I'm picking Lone Star.
Oh, okay.
It is a like neo-noir Southern neo noir type of movie. It's got Chris Cooper, Matthew McConaughey, Chris Christopherson. It's like a sheriff detective type story. I've heard it's amazing. So,
Well, I'm gay for McConaughey, so I'm down.
1996, was that it?
Let's see.
Chris Cooper, Matthew McConaughey.
96.
Yeah, 1996.
96. Yep.
Okay,
It's
cool.
on Tubi and Plex, or it's rentable.
Man, people
Criterion-
are giving us some crazy reviews.
Criterion has
Yeah.
is about to come out with.
No, I have the Criterion.
Okay, it did come out.
Yeah, I bought it in the last sale, and it's been sitting on my shelf. I've been holding it to pick as a pick for a while.
Yeah, I think you and I have maybe talked about it before, and I've even thought about bringing it up.
Oh, really?
I've heard good things about it.
Yeah, it's got great reviews. I've heard many people speak highly of it. So, yep.
Cool.
Is my pick coming up soon? I can't remember.
You're next.
I am next. Okay.
I think.
Just so I don't forget, because I know I'm probably gonna. I just want to go ahead and say that I'm picking the one that you talked about earlier, Josh.
Okay. Yeah, I assume so.
Cool. Dude, I almost forgot already, so I was like, let me tell Josh because you'll remind me.
Okay. All right.
Like, I picked Goonies. You're like, what about this one? I'm like, oh shit, that's right.
Goonies is awesome.
Never say die.
Is it?
I probably watch Better Off Dead and then Goonies right after.
Dude. Hey, I'm picking Drop Dead Fred. God damn it. The mega bitch is coming. The mega bitch.
I've never actually watched it.
seen it.
I didn't actually watch it
I
3
haven't-
times. So I just made a joke about it.
It's Hugh's favorite movie.
Yeah. All right. Weird energy
Pretty
tonight.
hates.
Let's end it. Lone Star next week, guys. Later.
Cool.